what's up, guys, and welcome back to another Real Madrid review. Real Madrid 1, Atletico Madrid 1. Was that a fair result? Um, Simply, it might come across as biased, but I don't think it was. I genuinely believe that Real Madrid have been hard done by here. And forget about the penalty decision that went against Real Madrid, but just the sheer amount of opportunities not being clinical. And that is on the players, but overall, going 1-0 down sort of brought this team's morale down as expected. That's what happens. Then there was that fight back straight away in the second half. 1-1. You're thinking, okay, that's where you can build on something. But then after all, you're throwing the kitchen sink at Atletico Madrid, and you just can't really find that finishing touch. Just that one finishing touch to get that second goal. And there just wasn't that. And that is really, really a big issue. Really. That really can be costly. Because look, who wins out of Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid drawing? Barcelona. If Barcelona win against Sevilla away, they will be 1 point behind Atletico Madrid and 2 points behind Real Madrid. Which means, to put this into perspective, if Real Madrid lose another game anytime soon and Barcelona win, Real Madrid could be third. So basically the top 3 could be jumbled all around. The top 3 could be in any position right now. This is probably the closest title race at this point of the year we have seen in years. And it is because of 3 teams that have the opportunity to go and to win the league by some margin. But they're just saying, look, we're not going to do that. We're going to make it a competitive, fun 3. And no one wants to win the league, basically. Because 2 points, a potential of 2 points separating the top 3 is ridiculous, isn't it? Considering these teams, all 3 of these teams could have built on a big lead. In fact, Barcelona had a big lead at some point, and then Atletico Madrid had the lead, and they sort of blew it away straight away. And then Real Madrid had that lead again, and now it's been closed down. So that is a big issue. That is, and we've decided, it's not even jinxing it, it's really just this side is bound to drop more points. So we have to hope that Atletico and Barcelona do as well, which I think is inevitable. But let's talk about the game. Was it a penalty? Look, I've always said that as long as there's contact in the box, it's a penalty. However, I don't think that if you're going for the ball and your foot lands on the other player's foot, basically you step on their foot, I don't think that's a penalty. When I say contact, I mean, you barge into them behind, you pull the shirt, you stick your foot out and you trip them. But come on, if you want to go so specific and claim that, but stepping on the foot is contact and it's a penalty, then the game has gone really, really soft. I do believe that. I think that if we're going to be awarding penalties for stepping on people's foot, you know, then every instant we're going to have 10, 15, 20 penalties a game, because it happens. But there is a boundary line as to the contact levels, and I don't think that stepping on a player's foot is beyond that line. So, you know, make what you want out of that. It got given as a penalty, and that is my issue, right? What do we say? If Tchouaméni starts and he makes a mistake, I think the fans will be on him. Now, fortunately for him, the fans know that it's not a penalty, so it's not really his fault. So this time around, he sort of got away with it. But if it was his fault, I think that it would have been very costly. But that's not to put against anything on Tchouaméni. I'm not really trying to suggest that Jacobo Ramon should be starting as well, because it is a big game after all. But it shows that this team is desperate. It really is. Penalty, Julian Alvarez, with the Panenka. And then the second half, 5 minutes in, the response, I think it was Rodrigo who did really well on the right hand side, gets the ball into the box. Bellingham's shot was blocked, comes back out for Mbappe, and he finishes brilliantly to make it 1-1. And then afterwards, he was just throwing the kitchen sink at Atlético. Vinicius with the cross for Bellingham hits the bar. There were so many opportunities, man. Like, Vinicius had a couple. Bellingham had a header again, straight at Jan Oblak. Towards the end, Vinicius did really, really well. Puts the cross for Rodrigo, just wide of the post. And then Mbappe was through. Oblak did well to come out to stop him. So, look, a lot of chances. But I think that you look at the stats, 23 shots to 10, 9 on target compared to 1. Atletico Madrid were not that great, to be honest. And I'm not going to really say that they were playing defensive football whilst having a couple of opportunities going forward. But the goal, which was a penalty, massively gave them that boost. And then they conceded, and then they went back to what they were doing, which is defend, whilst Real Madrid threw the kitchen sink at them. And that worked for them. And it's a point gain for Atletico and 2 points dropped for Real Madrid. I think that's pretty clear cut. I think that this is a point dropped, 2 points dropped actually. And you look to the next game, which will be the Champions League against Manchester City, and you take away the positives, is this team can create a lot, and I think will hurt Manchester City. But can we score? Can we put our chances to bed? And I think there is a higher chance, unless Pep Guardiola plays a defensive style, because this team, for some reason, when you play against a defensive Atletico team, when you play against, Espanyol, they can create 27, 23 shots a game. That's 50 shots in the last 2 La Liga games with 1 goal. That is not clinical enough. 1 goal in 50 shots. Like, come on. Come on now. Let's not be ridiculous. So, I think that with the way this team is playing, going forward, I think this team can create. You could look at 20 shots, to be honest. But can we score? can you put the ball in the back of the net? We'll see. But look, just wanted to give a couple of shout outs. Courtois couldn't have done anything about the penalty. I thought he did reasonably well, not a lot to do. Lucas Vazquez didn't really get exploited too much by Samuel Lino or Alvarez. Traoré, look, I don't agree that Carlo Ancelotti in terms of he was incredible, but I don't believe he was terrible. I think the penalty was harsh, and it wasn't a penalty, like I said. And apart from that, he didn't do much wrong. But again, he was playing against a defensive team, so again, like the rest of the defense, he didn't have a lot to do. But Raul Asensio, again, didn't have much to do, but I like that aggression, that passion. I like that in him. And he is ready to play at the highest level. And we want to see more of that. It doesn't matter if Rudiger comes back. It doesn't matter if David Alaba comes back. We want to see Raul Asensio start. So if Rudiger comes back, good. Rudiger and Asensio, not Traoré. Because that is the truth. Raul Asensio is ready to play such games. Fran Garcia, another great game. Same with Dani Ceballos, I thought they were underrated. Fede Valverde was alright. And then the front four, Vinicius did, a couple of good stints in terms of in the game. A couple of highlight moments, but never really got going in terms of goal scoring opportunities. Rodrigo had a couple, just unfortunate. And then the front two, on the main two of Bellingham and Mbappe, combining. They were probably the two better players today. Probably Mbappe, but look, Bellingham, again, having a couple of opportunities, getting involved, and Mbappe playing well as well. So, just the positive side of this. And I've seen people online saying that this team, at this moment of time, this team drew to Atlético Madrid because the attack was lacking chemistry. Look, that is ridiculous because this team has actually improved a lot in chemistry. We don't see a lot of selfish moments. Vinicius puts in crosses. Rodrigo puts in crosses. Although I do agree probably that shot that he had towards the end that, went past the post, he could have passed it to Fede Valverde who was on the overlap. But again, that wouldn't really have done much because I don't think Fede Valverde would have scored from that angle. Mbappe, look, he's a player who's playing up front. What's he supposed to do? When he gets the ball, he can't just look to pass, so he looks to shoot. But we've seen Mbappe before. He's been playing these sort of 1-2 combinations with Bellingham as well. This team is gelling in the attack. It's a defensive side of the game that's letting this team down, that's pulling this team down. So you have to sort out your defense. And I'm not saying Traoré is the problem. I'm not saying that he is the player who is making this team lose and draw, but it is certainly weakening the team. And also Lucas Vazquez just not having bad games, but not really having good games either. So, look, a point, it is what it is. We can only hope Sevilla can pull off a masterclass to even get a point against Barcelona, but it's possible. It is. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Hit the like if you did. Subscribe to the channel on already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.